Hey everyone, it's me Nita and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a package my Etsy orders with me video. And I'm also doing a Q&A just because I have a lot of orders to package up and I thought it'd be a great opportunity for me to chit chat with you guys and let you guys get to know me a little bit better. If you are new here, my name's Nita. I own 2 Etsy shops and I am basically documenting my whole experience on growing my business. I decided to take a break from teaching to be a stay-at-home mom for my 2 toddlers and to kind of help bring in money for my family, to help support my family. I decided to basically go all in with my business and document it all for YouTube. I started my Etsy shop back in 2018, but the first 2 years basically, well, the first year and a half, I would say, I didn't really get much sales. I didn't get a lot of traction to my Etsy shop. I didn't really take it seriously though, but for the last year and a half, I have literally dove in and been giving my business my all, basically. And now I'm starting to actually gain some traction and my business is starting to thrive. So I'm excited to do this package with me because this is probably the most orders I've had since opening my shop. Currently, right now, I have 35 open orders. I was able to get probably about half of the orders done in the last few days, and I'm going to spend the next few days busting out the rest of those orders. But I'm going to go ahead and package up the ones that I already have done. And if you don't know, my Etsy shop mostly consists of handmade children's clothes and birthday outfits. I make baby blankets that are embroidered. I sell fabric because I'm so obsessed with fabric. Why not sell it as well? And I make t-shirts. And yeah, I have a big love for sewing and embroidery and just crafting in general. So I'm really happy that I decided to take my passion and something that I really love and enjoy and make a business out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and stop rambling and I'm just going to go ahead and dive in with packaging up these orders and answering a few questions. Now some of these, well actually all these questions are from my Facebook group, so if you haven't yet, make sure to go join my Facebook group. I have it linked down in the description. But in my Facebook group, I asked you guys to ask me a bunch of questions to put into this video, so I'm going to be answering some of my Facebook group's questions that they have. I plan on doing a bunch more of these Q&As because I just like kind of letting you guys into my life and letting you know the ins and out of running a business. So I also have a few videos on how I package up my orders. Now I'm not going to go into details on how I package up my orders because I already have a few videos on that, so I'll make sure and link those videos up here for you guys so you guys can go check those out if you guys need some help with packaging up your Etsy orders or your Shopify orders or any orders that you may receive. I think that's it. Let's go ahead and I'll show you what I'm going to be packaging up tonight. Okay, so I have a bunch of different embroidered shirts. Now I did do a whole YouTube video of me making all of these items, so again I'll leave it up here somewhere for you guys. And then I have all these bell-bottom orders that I've made. I haven't gotten a lot of baby blanket orders in a very, very long time. I don't know why. I honestly have slowed down a lot with baby blanket orders. I don't know if it's just because I'm not pushing them and adding new ones to my shop. I'm mostly adding a bunch of new birthday outfits, and maybe that's why I'm getting more noticed with these items. But with baby blankets, it's slowed down quite a bit for me. I do plan though on doing a bunch of new listings because I have a ton of fabric for baby blankets, so that's on my to-do list. But basically I'm working on a bunch of bell-bottom outfits. Some are for Christmas, some are for birthdays. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's take all this stuff over to my packaging table. And sorry I look like a hot mess right now. It is really late. It's like 1 in the morning. This is like the only time I can get work done. And I don't do this every day. I've mentioned this in a few videos. I only stay up late probably like 2-3 nights of the week, and then the rest of the week I go to bed at a somewhat reasonable time. But because I have so many orders going out and a lot of these have to go out in the next few days, I'm just gonna stay up and bust all these out so I don't have to stress during the week, because I'm gonna use like Monday and Tuesday to edit YouTube videos and work on some more listings. And then Thanksgiving's on Thursday, and then I have to also prep some new stuff as well, because it's gonna be Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So I wanna make sure that I have a bunch of new items in my shop, because I'm gonna be running a sale on all my items. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna be, the percentage of the sale I'm gonna be doing, but I just wanna make sure I have a bunch of inventory for that. So if I do well during Black Friday, I'll have some stuff in stock and ready to go. So I'm gonna have you guys set up this way just so you guys can see what I'm packaging up. And then I'll just be answering a few of these Q&A questions that you guys left me. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling some of these orders. Okay, so this video is probably gonna be long, so I do apologize for that. So all my bell bottoms, I have to add some hang tags to them. So I'm gonna be doing that while I chat with you guys. So one of my first questions that I'm going to answer is, how do you pay yourself? So basically, I don't pay myself just because my business is still growing. So any money that I make or any profits basically go right back into the business. I don't pay myself. Now, I do use some of the money that I get from my business, obviously, to help support my family. So that money just goes straight to bills and whatever I have left over, I put away to kind of help to reinvest into more equipment, or any supplies like fabric that I have to buy. So for example, I have to purchase a bunch more of this bullet fabric because I'm just going through it like crazy. So basically, any of my profits, because I'm still super small as a business owner, any of my profits literally just go right back into my business. So I'm honestly not paying myself yet. Once I do see enough profits, I will eventually start paying myself and kind of give myself a salary. Even my husband, he helps me a lot with my business, so he will eventually also technically get like a salary as well. And the nice thing about that is, once that, you know, does happen with my business, that'll be a really nice tax write-off as well. So my next question too, same person, Marcy asked, how do you know how much to charge for your products? So basically, I factor in the cost of the materials, how much I want to basically get paid. So how much is it like worth my time? So I factor in how long it takes me to make a certain item, and basically how much do I want to get paid hourly. And then I also factor in any maintenance that I'll have to do for like my machines. I kind of add that cost into it. So I just basically just factor in cost of materials, maintenance for the machines, how much I want to get paid hourly, and basically that's how I come up with it. Now eventually I do need to raise my prices, because I do want to factor in how much I would charge for like an employee and how much I want to get profit. So I will eventually have to raise my prices, and honestly I kind of need to raise my prices, but I still want to be somewhat competitive, so I do have my items a little bit lower. But I'm thinking, if my business continues to thrive the way it is, I am eventually going to have to raise my prices. Now recently I did raise my prices for my baby blankets, just by like $5, just because it was time for me to raise my prices, just because I was so busy. Just because I'm so busy with all my other stuff. It's just, baby blankets take me so long to make that I just want to make sure that I'm really getting paid for my time. So I went and increased all my prices by like $5 for my baby blankets. And honestly, like I said, I haven't been getting a lot of baby blanket orders, and I'm thinking because I raised my prices on them. So I'm thinking that's why, because they are a little bit more expensive, that's probably why I haven't gotten as many sales on them. Honestly, which I'm okay with, and I'm not getting a ton of baby blanket sales because I'm so busy with doing this stuff, and I have a bigger, I guess, profit margin. I make more money doing these outfits than doing baby blankets. So I'm okay with not making a ton of baby blankets just because I make more money doing this stuff. So I'd rather do what makes me more money. Okay, so my next question, Denise asks, were you able to do anything as far as orders or just anything crafty when your babies were smaller? So honestly, I was able to do a lot more when my babies were younger because one, they would nap a lot more. Jackson was a really good napper when he was a baby. He took naps every 3 hours and he would take like a 2-hour nap each time. And when he got a little bit older, he's just an overall really easy, mellow baby. Basically, I can just give him some toys that he likes to play with and he can be super independent. Like, he is so good at being independent. So I was able to get a lot of work done. And when I had Mason, he was a really good napper. He would sleep, take a nap every 3 hours and take like a 2-hour nap. But now that Mason is a toddler now, it's really hard to get anything done just because he is go, go, go. And he's not as independent as Jackson is. He needs a little bit more attention at all times. I feel like whenever he sees me start working, he kind of just will do things to get my attention and just basically make it to where I can't work. He'll either go pester his brother, he'll go pester the dogs, he'll pester me. And even if I try and like give him toys, give him a snack, do whatever I can to try and get him to be independent, he's not able to do it. So I'm not able to get that much done. Basically right now I'm only able to get work done when they're eating breakfast, eating lunch, or if they're in the mood to watch like a show on TV for a little bit. But honestly, I don't like shoving them in front of a TV. Like, I want them to be outside playing, riding their bikes, playing in the dirt. I rather than do things like that than be watching TV all day. Now that they're older, I don't get much done. Now I have to wait basically for my husband to get home for me to be able to do any type of work. Denise also asks, do you have any suggestions on managing mommy duty, house duties, and business? So basically, my suggestion is, because I don't have it figured out, I'm still struggling with it as a mom, trying to balance it all. It is extremely hard trying to just balance having 2 toddlers and being a mom and managing a house and throw in a small business and YouTube. It's really, really, really hard. Like, I don't know if I make it seem easy in my YouTube videos, but it's hard. It's really hard. It's stressful. It's very overwhelming at times, but I am so motivated and determined to make my business grow that I find a way to do it. I don't get a lot of sleep. I don't recommend that. It's not good for you, but I don't get a lot of sleep. My house is probably not the cleanest and tidiest compared to probably some other stay-at-home moms who are able to clean more. So I basically just, you have to let certain things go, you know. You kind of just have to know that your house isn't going to be perfect. You're going to have a sink full of dishes. You're going to have a mountain of laundry. You're going to have toys everywhere. But as long as, you know, the house is livable and your kids are taken care of and your kids are happy, you just kind of have to deal with a few things. Now, I don't get to spend as much time with my husband as I would like. It sucks sometimes, you know. I would love to have more date nights and do things like that. But honestly, my husband and I are so invested in wanting to grow our business that we're kind of willing to give up certain things just for a short amount of time. It's not going to last forever, and we know that. So the cluttered house, the dirty house, the late nights, and all this work we're doing, it's not going to always have to be, it's not always going to be like this. So it's temporary. And then Denise also asks or says that she's trying to get back into her Cricut business and try embroidery, but she doesn't know where to start. Basically, for your Cricut business, I would just find what you like making with your Cricut and try and focus on that. So for me, I like making t-shirts with my Cricut, so I just went all in and tried to learn as much as I could about t-shirt making using a Cricut. I watched a ton of YouTube videos. If you're wanting to do more like decals and other type of things, definitely just do your research. YouTube is like the best way to get information. Like YouTube has taught me everything about growing my business and using all the machines that I use for my business. And then for embroidery, definitely go, if you haven't already, go follow Angela Jasmina. She was the one that really inspired me to get into embroidery and just starting my handmade business. So definitely go check her out. She's super inspiring. She's so helpful, and she just teaches so much that's super valuable. So definitely just go check out her. And there's so many people on YouTube that are doing embroidery and using their Cricut to make things and sell. So definitely go just start searching people up on YouTube. And just don't wait, just dive in. Even if you don't know what you're doing, if you have your Cricut, just start making things, and it's going to be trial and error. You're going to have a lot of mess ups, just know that. But don't wait, just don't overthink it. Just basically just dive in and just start, and you will learn along the way. Okay, so Megan Andrews asks, tips for growing your YouTube channel. So with YouTube for me, being consistent was probably the biggest thing that has helped me grow my channel. Now my channel isn't huge, it's still growing, but the biggest thing for me that helped me grow my YouTube channel is just posting consistently, and just knowing that when you post your first probably like 25, 30 videos, maybe even 50 videos, you're not going to get a lot of views on them. Just know that. And it's a little discouraging in the beginning, but if you just keep trying and just keep posting, be interactive on Instagram, TikTok, try and promote it wherever you can. Have your family members watch it, have your family members comment, like it, have your family share it. Surprisingly, there are a lot of people who want to see you succeed and will want to help you out. But even my husband, he would watch my YouTube videos, and he would watch me make them, but he would still open up my video, watch it, so I get those watch time hours. But people want to see you succeed, so just post videos regularly, and don't forget to share it, and try and share it on as many social medias as you can. Megan also asked, do I plan on going back to work or school? Now this has been a really tough decision for me. I'm kind of torn because I love teaching. I love my students. I tremendously miss my students, especially now with the whole pandemic going on. Like, I worked at a Title I school, so basically I worked with families and students who economically disadvantaged. So with that, it comes with a lot of things. It comes with students who have gone through a ton of trauma. It comes from students who come from single parent households, or some kids are being raised by grandparents, aunts and uncles. And with that, it comes with a lot of behavioral challenges, a lot of extra needed social and emotional support. So when I was teaching, I wasn't just teaching, I was being a counselor, I was being a mother to a lot of these kids. I was just doing a lot. And the job was very stressful, but also very rewarding. And I do miss my students. And during this whole pandemic, they were stuck at home for a year, and being at school is probably the safest place for them a lot of times, because they go through abuse, and it just breaks my heart to think about my students and them being stuck in an environment all day long and not getting breakfast and getting their lunches. because their parents can't afford it. And then if they're being abused, they don't have like a way for them to get a break from it, or there's not a way for a teacher or an employee at our school to notice if they're going through abuse, to be able to report it. So we have these kids who are stuck in these situations without any support, any emotional support, and it just worries me. We also have a really big refugee population too, and some of our families are still stuck in Afghanistan, and it's just really sad and scary. So I do worry about, you know, my refugee population, and I worry about all my students who are going through trauma right now. Like, I'm not there to support them and help them, so I'm torn because I want to go back and support them, but I also want to be home with my kids, and I also want to be able to homeschool them as well. So I'm torn between being home with my kids and spending as much time as I can with them because time is so short, or go back to work and, you know, supporting other kids and families. It's just, I don't know what to do. I'm really torn on what I'm going to do, but I do miss it. But I also know that I want to be home with my kids. And I also know that with teaching, I don't get paid as much. So I won't be able to save up money to be able to send them to any college that they want to go to, or to, be able to just do more things and have things set up for them in the long run. I can't really do that with teaching because you get paid so little and you don't really get a lot of growth financially with being a teacher. You're kind of just set getting paid the same amount of money for forever basically, so, or until you retire. So I just want to make sure that I'm making enough money to be able to give everything I want for my kids, and I want to make sure that I have as much time with my kids because they're only little and tiny for so long. So I just want to make sure I spend as much time as I can with my family. And then Megan also asks, how do you save money to grow your business instead of putting the profits back into the business? Currently right now I'm not doing that. I'm putting all my money back into my business because I want it to grow as quickly as possible. Megan also asks, does she think, or she asks, do you think your YouTube channel has helped you grow your business, or did it have little impact? Now, I have had a lot of followers purchase from me, but majority of my sales are through my Etsy ads. Like, if you look at all my orders, you'll see that most of them, probably like 90% of them, are from Etsy ads. But I do have amazing followers that have helped purchase from me, have left me really good reviews, and have supported my business so much, and I appreciate you guys so much for doing that. But for the most part, my business hasn't really been impacted too much by YouTube. It's mostly, like I said, been impacted by my Etsy ads that I run. I run currently $25 a day. I think doing that has helped me get all these orders. And then Jose asks, what is your #1 seller? If you guys can't tell, my donut bell bottoms and my donut outfits are like my biggest sellers. Before, probably my biggest sellers were my dinosaur blankets. But like I said, I haven't gotten any baby blanket orders in such a long time. I just don't know if it's because so many people are doing it now. Because before, when I first started making baby blankets, I was the only one really doing that kind of style of baby blankets. And I think now that so many people are doing it now, I think it's causing me to get less sales. And also I haven't really invested much time on adding new baby blanket items. And I think it's really important to be consistent with adding new items to your Etsy shop, because if you don't, you won't get as many sales. Now, I've been consistent with these orders because I'm constantly adding new bell-bottom outfits to my Etsy shop, so I think that's really impacting my Etsy in a great way, because I'm always trying to add new outfits to my Etsy shop. What made you start your own business, and how do you manage with 2 toddlers? So I started my business just because I love crafting. I love sewing. So I started my Etsy shop making like burp cloths, kitchen towels, and scrunchies just because I love sewing so much. And then I also added fabric to my Etsy shop just because I love fabric and I wanted to sell fabric online. So I started my business and got a business license and a reseller's license to be able to sell fabric, buy it wholesale and resell it. And then once I had my kids, I didn't want to go back to work. I ended up I just hated leaving my kids when I went back to work. So when I had my second one, I was so determined to stay home. So that's when I really dove into my business because I didn't want to leave my kids. It caused me a lot of anxiety. I used to cry on my way to work. I used to cry on my way home from work. I used to cry on my lunch just because I would miss my kid so incredibly much. So I kind of made it a goal of mine when I had my second one to be able to stay home full-time with my kids and kind of take a break from teaching. And then how do I manage it with 2 toddlers? It's really hard. It's really hard managing it with toddlers. Like I said before, it was easier when they were little, like little babies. But now that they're toddlers and more active, it's impossible. It's impossible to work with them. So basically now I work when my husband gets home, and then I work when they're asleep, or I work when they're watching like TV, when they're eating breakfast or lunch. But yeah, I just basically have to wait till my husband gets home, or if my mom takes them for a few hours, I work then. But it's really hard. I don't recommend it, but it's hard. You know, if you're determined and you want to do something, you're more than capable of doing it. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of stress, but I know it's going to be worth it in the long run, and I know I'm going to be much happier in the long run too, being able to stay home with my kids. And again, sorry you guys can't see my face, but I just wanted you guys to be able to see exactly what I'm packaging up. Okay, so Christonia, I don't know, I'm probably saying your name wrong, I'm so sorry. But she asked, what HTV do you use and where do you get it? So I use Sizer Easy Weed just because it's compliant for kids clothing. That means it's safe and approved for kids clothing. Cricut HTV is not approved. So if you use Cricut HTV and you make kids clothing, just know it's not approved for kids clothing. So I recommend Sizer too because it lasts. And with Cricut, I used to get my HTV, it would pill after a few washes, but with Sizer, I don't have any issues with pilling or anything like that. Sizer Easy Weed is my favorite, and I get that from either Michael's when I'm in a pinch. I don't recommend getting it from Michael's because it's so expensive. I recommend getting it from mycraftsource.com. That's where I get my my HTV, and if I use adhesive vinyl, I'll also get that there too. But my craft source it's just reasonably priced, and their shipping times are great. They ship it out either that day or next day, and overall I just love that company. I just think they're a great company to purchase from and to support. So I get my HTV from mycraftsource.com. My goodness, I might run out of questions before I finish up these orders. Okay, how do you figure out shipping prices? So basically I go off weight. Anything less than a pound, I usually just go through USPS. If it's a little over a pound, you can ship it priority mail. But if it's more than like a pound, or if it's more than 2 pounds and you're not able to fit it in a flat rate bubble mailer or a flat rate envelope, I'd recommend going through UPS. They're way more reasonably priced for heavier items, but basically for the smaller items, I just go through US. Sorry about that, my camera stopped recording, it timed out. But basically, if it's under a pound, I go through USPS. If it's a little more than a pound, I use, and it's able to fit into a flat rate Polymailer or envelope, I use that. And then I just calculate my prices through the weight of the item. And I use Etsy for that. Any sales that I get off of Shopify or anything else off of Etsy, I use ShipStation, which isn't the cheapest. I recommend Pirate Ship. They're way better price, so I totally recommend Pirate Ship over ShipStation. And then she also asked, do you compare USPS, UPS, and FedEx? Yes. So if I have a bigger price or a bigger item, I compare prices before I purchase the shipping label. I don't use FedEx. I mostly just use either USPS or UPS. That's my two go-tos. And then for like my items, like for my outfits, I kind of just weigh the biggest size and go off that weight. And then I just basically, when it's time for me to print out the shipping label, I weigh the package and make any needed adjustments. But I kind of just do like a flat weight, I guess, for all my items. Now, of course, like a baby outfit's gonna be a lot lighter than, like, say a size 10. But because I don't want to eat the cost for shipping, I just make everything weigh how much like a size 10 would weigh, basically. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that made sense at all. So yeah, for like my scrunchies, they all weigh about like 2 ounces. So I just have my shipping like weight set to that. Okay, and then my next question, they ask, how do you schedule your time? So basically I'm still trying to find out like the best scheduling for my time. Like, I struggle with that. One thing that I do to help me manage my time and to like plan out like what I'm gonna work on for which day is I use a planner. I try and plan every day what I'm going to accomplish. I try and plan for the week too, so I know like what days I'm gonna work on orders and what days am I gonna spend for editing YouTube videos, filming YouTube videos, because editing YouTube videos it's like my whole work day basically. So as of right now, I'm basically using, let's say Monday and Tuesday, I'm using that time to work on YouTube videos. So any videos that I need to edit, I'll edit those on Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday as well. I'll also try and record 2 on some of those days, to kind of help even it out. And then if I have any orders that have to go out, I'll try and work on those then. And then I'm currently also using Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to help prep for any markets that I have coming up. So I'm basically using Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to edit YouTube videos. I'm using that time also to prep for any markets that I have coming up. And then for Thursday, Friday, and then the weekend, I try to use that time to work on Etsy orders, just because I have like the weekend to have my mom watch the kids, or my husband's home more to be able to help watch the kids. So I guess Thursday, Friday, and the weekends are meant towards like Etsy. And then, like I said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are mostly for content creating. Now, I don't always stick to that schedule, but as of right now, I'm noticing that's working best for me. For like working, I usually just work when my husband gets home and when my kids go to bed. So, as soon as my husband gets home, I'll like cook dinner, eat dinner with my family, and then do like some house stuff, because with my kids it's really hard to even like do house chores and do like laundry and stuff. So I'll try and do that stuff too. during that time. And then I'll just get started on orders. So, or working on a YouTube video. If I'm like eating dinner, I'll sometimes just sit there and edit a YouTube video while I'm eating dinner. But my schedule is, I literally work every day. It's exhausting, but I'm just, like I said, I'm determined to grow this business and grow my YouTube channel. Like, it's what I love to do and I really enjoy it, so it doesn't really feel like work. But you really have to be diligent and really good with time management, and I think I'm really good at that at times. It's a lot harder now with kids because you kind of have to go off their schedule. It doesn't really matter how much of a day you have planned and like how much you want to like stick with it. If your kids sometimes don't want to do it, it's hard to kind of make and force toddlers to stick with the schedule sometimes. That's why if I'm able to during the day, I'll get, try and work. But if my kids aren't having it, I don't try and like force them to like be there and force them to do something while I'm working. It's just, if they're not in the mood for it, then we'll go play outside. We'll go play with the dogs. We'll read a book, do some puzzles, do things to kind of help pass the time until my husband gets home, basically. But definitely, if you're a small business owner with small kids, or just a small business owner in general, I totally recommend planning. Planning has helped me so incredibly much. Let me go switch my battery out real quick. So this is definitely going to be a really long, chatty video, so I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. If you are enjoying it so far, make sure to hit that like button. And if you have any other questions too that you would like answered, definitely leave them down in the comments below, and I'll try and plan out another Q&A for you guys, because I honestly like doing these, because sometimes I don't want to make like a whole music montage of me working on orders. I'd rather sit and chat with you guys. So definitely leave some questions down below and I will try and answer those in another video. Or if you don't like the long Q&As, just let me know and I won't do them, but hopefully you guys are liking them. Okay, so to get back on the topic of baby blankets, Bev asks, when you first started making baby blankets, how did you determine how much inventory you needed? So when I first started making baby blankets, I didn't really keep much of an inventory. I basically just would have my item listed, and whenever I would get an order, I would just go to Joann's and pick up whatever materials I needed. Now, over time, when I knew certain blankets sold more than others, I made sure to keep a lookout for any like Joann sales so I can pick up some of the materials at a discounted price, just so I could have like a higher profit margin. So for example, like my dinosaur baby blankets were like a big seller, so I knew that if I bought like a whole bolt of that fabric, I would sell out of it within, a month or so. So whenever there was like a sale at Joann's for like flannel fabric would be like $2.99 a yard. So I would basically buy the whole bolt and get it more, I guess 60% off basically, and I would save so much money doing that way. But if you're just starting out, I totally don't recommend doing that. I just recommend basically just, when you get an order, just go to Joann's, try and use like a 20% off coupon if you have one, and try and do that. And then when you notice a certain print or certain style of baby blankets would be popular, then you can kind of stock up and get like 2 yards or 3 yards and have that on the hand, so you don't have to constantly go and drive to Joann's. So once you kind of notice a pattern of what blankets sell well, just try and stock up and get like 2 yards. And when you're getting, I would say, more than one order for a blanket like that in a week, then you would stock up and get maybe 5 or 6 yards. Okay, so that is the end of the Q&A. I'm also, I forgot, I need to record how many sizes I've sold to go with the batch numbers. So I kind of need to write down how many I sold, what size. So I have to keep track of all the information for, like I said, batch numbers. So I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna count up everything so I know what to track, basically. Okay guys, I'm all done packaging these up. So my husband will take these to the post office for me tomorrow. So currently I have 18 orders left. So I still have a very busy workload the next few days. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I'm going to put all these orders in a bag for my husband and put the bag by the front door so he remembers to take them with him when he goes to work, and he can drop them off at the post office when he goes to lunch. I have him drop off my packages just because we only have one car at the moment, so he takes the car with him to work, so I'm kind of stuck at home with the kids. I'm not able to go to the post office and drop these off, so he'll drop them off tomorrow for me. I'm trying to think. I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm doing actually a really good job pre-recording videos and having like videos prepped and ready to go throughout the week, so I'm being more consistent on YouTube. I'm getting in a better routine, a better groove. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give this video a like, and if you guys want to see more content like this, make sure to let me know down in the comments. Leave some comments of other questions you guys would like answered in future Q&As, and that's it. Luckily, the rest of my orders are mostly scrunchie orders and fabric orders, so those should be really easy to package up. I think I only have about like eight t-shirts slash birthday outfits bell bottom orders, so it's not too crazy of a work week, but we shall see. If I get any other orders during the week, then it might get a little crazy, but I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.